Hi guys, Vedant's Computing here. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to play rock, paper, scissors on Python 3.8.3. Now, if you remember a few videos ago, I showed you how to play rock, paper, scissors on the BBC Microbit using the Python editor. Well, in this video, I'm not going to be using that, and there will be no Microbit. I will just be using the idle Python shell here. And this will be a bit more of a complicated code, so stick around and I'll show you what I mean. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to import the random module, but from that we want to import the rand range function. So from random import rand range. Okay, and then we need to create our function. So I'm going to call it RPS, and it's going to take one argument, which is x. All right, and then I'm going to create a dictionary called game here, and the dictionary will have a key and a value. If the key is 1, then the value will be the shape. So the first shape is rock, the second shape is paper, and the third shape here is our scissors. All right, there it is. Okay, so that's our dictionary made. All right, we need to put an equals to here. All right, that's our dictionary, and then we need to set the rules. So the rules, the key will be whatever beats the value. So paper beats rock here, right? So that means we would have to put 2 1. So let's put 2 1. Then rock beats scissors, right? So we would put 1 3. Okay, and finally scissors beats rock, scissors beats paper, sorry, so we would have to put 3 2, and then we would close that up. So those are the rules for us, and those are the main rules. That's what everything we need basically. All right, so we have our game and we have the rules. Okay, so each number corresponds to a object, and then we can find out who beats who from here. Okay, then the next thing we have to do is P1, which is going to be U, is equal to X, so whatever you inputted for the argument over there. And P2 is equal to rand range here. So this is going to be rand range. So remember we inputted it up here. What this is going to do is going to randomly choose a number between these two numbers here. So the 1 is the start and 4 is the stop, and I've chosen 4 here because it will not include the last number. So this would actually randomly choose between 1 and 3, not 1 and 4. So it would choose 1 2 3, not 4. It would be left out the number 4. If I put 3 here, then it would only choose 1 or 2, but since I put 4, it would choose 1 to 3, excluding 4. Okay, so that's P2 done. So that's our player 2. Player 2 will be completely random. Then I'm going to print what you selected. So you selected, and then we can put the colon just to make it look nice. Okay, and then we need to put game P1. All right, what this means is P1 is the number that you inputted up here. So say I inputted number 1, it would go to game and it would look for the key that is number 1, and the key number 1 is here. So number 1 would be rock. All right, so that means you selected rock if I put in number 1 for my argument. And then I would say computer selected here. All right, colon, apostrophe, and then comma, computer selected, and then it would be game, but he would select P2. All right, there you go. So remember, the key corresponds to the value. So if the computer selected, well, if the computer randomly got the number 3, then game 3 would be scissors because the key is 3. It gets the value, it doesn't print the key. Okay, so that is that. Okay, and now I'm going to actually put the rules into motion here. So I need to print who won, who drew, and who loses. Okay, so draw, win, or lose for you. 3 different options. So if the rules, and then if the rules, and then P1 is equal to P2. Now what does this mean? Well, if say, let's say I put number 2 here, okay? That would mean P2 is equal to number 2. So if the rules 2, so what is the rules 2? Well, the rules 2 is this over here, which is paper. So if paper is equal to P2. Now if P2 put number 1, then that would mean that this would be true. All right. If P2 puts something else, then it would not be true. All right. So if the rules P1 is equal to P2, then I would win. All right. So I'm going to print here, you win with, and then it would be like this. And then it would be what I selected. So that would be game, game P1 here. And then it would be against. So what the computer puts, so I want to know that what I won against, so I would put against, and now it will tell me what I won against. It would be game P2 here, so what the computer put. All right, I believe that is that. Yep. Okay, so that's the if I win, but there's also another scenario. What happens if I draw? So if I draw, then if if we're both the same, so if P1 is equal to P2. So if we both have the exact same here, so if we choose the exact same number, then that would be a draw. So then I would have to put print the game is a draw here. Game is a draw with, I would say, what we drew against what we drew with. So game P1. And then I may as well put against as well. Why not? Even though if it's a draw, it's going to be the same shape for both of us. Against game P2. There. All right. And the last one is going to be uh, else. Okay. Else is going to be, well, there's only one last scenario left. The last scenario is that I lose and the computer wins. So I'm going to print computer wins with this. It's going to be this. And it's going to be against. Well, first, computer wins with game P2. And against here, it's going to be against what I got. What did I get? I got game P1. All right. And then that's that. So that is the whole code there. So you'll see that we have a error here because I forgot to put the comma. So it's always important that you remember to separate the strings with the references here, like game P1. Now you don't have to write this whole thing out. All you have to do is press Alt P and it comes back here, and you just put the comma back here. All right, and now let's check it out. Okay, so let's run it once and I will tell you what is happening. Okay, so let's put in a number between 1 and 3. I'm going to put 2. All right, here we go. So the first thing it did is went through all of this, and it recognized that P1 is now 2, and the computer chose a random number. Then it went over to here, this line over here, and it said, here, you can see you selected paper. So yes, I selected number 2. Game P1 is number 2 here. All right. Then it says computer selected scissors here. So game P2 would be rand range, and scissors is number 3. So we know computer selected number 3 randomly. Then it says computer wins with scissors against paper. All right. Well, yes, that is true. It went through this, and this is not true. It went through this, and this is not true. So it went all the way to the last one here, and it said computer wins with game P2, which is 3, and if game P2 is 3, then it would be scissors, and against what I selected, which is 2, and 2 is paper. Okay, so that is why the computer won. So there's one really long code. As you can see, it's a lot more complicated than the last one for the microbit, because you can do a lot more here. You can say who won, who drew, and who lost. Okay, I can also show you another variation here, which actually doesn't take an argument. Okay, so if we go back using Alt P, go back twice, I can actually remove this argument. Okay, and when I removed it, now there will be no X. Okay, so I would have to create my own input. Now there is a command such as print called x or called input here. So I'm just going to set x to input. So x is equal to input, and it's going to be I'm going to say enter a number, and then I'm going to say either 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, and I'm going to say 1 is rock, 2 is paper, and 3 is scissors. So I'm basically explaining the rules here. So 1 is rock, 2 is paper, paper, and 3 is scissors here. All right, so that's that. There you go. So I've created my input and I've set x to the input. So you'll see now, whatever I input will become x. But by default, I think the input will be a string, so that means I have to change this to an integer, and to do that, all I have to do is int x. So now p1 will not be a string anymore, it will be an integer. All right, so that is basically all you had to do. So now it doesn't take an argument anymore. It will actually ask you this thing here. It will ask you ask you to enter a number. So okay, yeah, we did that. I'll have to call it now, so RPS, and you see that it actually doesn't take an argument here. It just says empty brackets, so I'm going to put an empty brackets, right? Here we go. Now it says enter a number, either 1, 2, or 3. 1 is rock, 2 is paper, and 3 is scissors. So let's just say this time, why don't we try scissors? So that's number 3. Alright, and there you go. You selected scissors, computer selected rock, computer wins. It's basically the same thing as this the one above here, which takes an argument, except here we've removed the x from here, and instead we've made this own one, which x is equal to the input, and then we had to change this a bit because we didn't want x to be a string. All right. So guys, that is all for this video. Thank you for watching. I know this was a bit of a complicated code, but if you want to see more stuff like this, then please like, share, and subscribe, and please leave a comment on what you want me to do next. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.